Hi folks, I was going to work on the wheel bearings and the boss showed up. I asked what she could do and I told her. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh. What you doing?
Ripping this out. I'm gonna give her new beauty. New beauty coming.
Set you all up here. Oh, let me get this. There we go. All right, I'm gonna leave y'all with her.
You see her potential. We should cut along the seam, Ed.
What seam?
That.
Oh, I pull it down.
I don't know that I want to pull it down. There we go. Task completed. Moving on. Where? Up there?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. But see, we could, now that we got this open, we could try to seal this from inside and then also, you know, when we pull this, seal all the top.
We need to replace the whole ceiling. Sorry, it ain't gonna work. It's gonna look stupid if we don't. So we might as well just go on it all the way to there. It's gonna look stupid if we don't. Let's just do it.
Now, hang on. Now, you can get paneling, you know, will match, but the color might not match. You could paint your whole ceiling white.
Or big.
And not have to tear it all out and replace it all.
Okay, let me think about that. Let's think about that. I gotta get out of this. Yep.
At least the wood isn't soft.
Look, check that one right there because it's really
Well,
bad.
see, it's been kept in a barn for 30 years, so it never got rained on. Now it's out in the weather and showing the leaks.
The lights don't work. I just... Alright, now. I'll help you clean it up. Sweep it out, and I'll pick it up.
I'll open the gate and we'll put it in the can. It's leaked here at these vents, which we'll be getting rid of those.
Where?
Right here. That's where the worst water damage is. See how it's even run down here?
Oh.
It's where the stack vent, which stack vents out.
How do you get up there without falling through?
Well, you just have to be careful. And you got some, probably what I'll do though before we get up there is I can put some cripple studs in here to brace the ceiling. But see, I can take these off too, and then just put a panel of galvanized metal over it and seal it.
And right there.
And here. There's a guy in one of our groups is putting a skylight in here.
I told you that, and you said, no, that'll leak. I might put a chandelier in there, though.
You'd be banging.
I know.
All right. That's it for that. When we were in here last time, you could see what we were doing, but you couldn't really get a good look at what it was looking like from down here. That's where the air conditioner is sitting, and it was leaking there. And also over here, remember this is where the refrigerator was, and where it has two stack vents, it was leaking. That's where you can see the worst of it. But like I said, it sat in a barn most of the time for 30 years, so it really wasn't getting rained on. It's really just started leaking, I guess, when it's out of the barn. But we'll address that. But that piece had to go because it was water damaged bad. But we'll leave that like that till we get this air conditioner off of here. All right, just wanted y'all to see what that was. All right, here's one of our wheel hubs. I put some rattle can on it, and let's put our wheel bearings back on and get the hub on. See if we can get a tire back on. You see, I hit it up. Inner race is in really good shape. Nothing wrong with it. Same as the inner race. They're both in really good shape. So, first thing we need to do is grease up our wheel bearings. And there ain't no good way to do this. I'm just trying to push it in. As you can see, it kind of wants to start coming back out. Helps you know you're getting it packed in there good. Okay, that looks good. So let's put a little grease on this race. And we'll drop that in there. Fill any void space you might see with grease. Okay. Here's our seal. Let's put a little more grease in there. Basically trying to do is just fill it up to that groove. looks like a lot more grease than what you need. But another thing it's doing is preventing water from getting in. Okay. All right, to set this inner seal, you just kind of want to set it in there. And then I've got this piece of wood here. Just tap it. It's a little high. That's pretty flush right there. Okay. All right, so that is the inside. Now let's flip her over. And do the outside. Same thing with this inner bearing. I'll stop again. You can see how that grease is pushing up. That's how you know you're filling all those voids.
Yeah. Lord, it's rain. Wasn't our neighbor, and he goes down there and uses his car? Can't figure. Huh? You gonna put tires on?
Working on it. Put a little grease on this outer seal. Alright, the outer does not have a seal. That's where our washer and our crown nut goes. So, let's get those together and we can go put this hub on. Alright, so here we are back at the little Southern Zipper, and we got our wheel hub here. Fixing to put her on. We'll put a little grease on the spindle.
Hey.
Right.
That looks like kind of like Gojo.
And this outer bearing will probably pop off, and you have to reseat it. There we go. Okay. And more grease for good measure. All right. And like I said, there's no outer grease seal. You use the washer, but it's got the notch. Line the notch up. And then here's your crown nut. Now there's a hole through the spindle. You'll tighten this up till you get it where you want it, and then you want your Carter key to go through that hole. So let's put this on. Well, oh, here's the Carter key. I always replace those whenever I do them. See, it goes through a little hole and you bend it back. All right, first things first. See if I can get this nut started. All right, and on this, the trick is you want it tight enough that the hub doesn't wobble, but not too tight so that it impinges on that wheel's ability to move. The crescent wrench wasn't big enough, so I had to go get my slip joint. Alright, that about right. Maybe a little tight. Let's see where we are in that hole. Alright. If I tighten it to where that'll go, that'll be too tight. So let's back it off. Alright. Alright, and there's no wobble. So that should be good. So the dog ear, Carter key. More grease for good measure. Again, it may not ever get to the wheel bearings, but it'll help keep the water out. And imagine water leads to rust, and ball steel and ball bearings is not a good recipe. So, all right, let's go get our dust cap. Alright. And these just screw on. He says. Alright. Let me back y'all up and I'll go grab a tire. they'll tighten them when they get them back on the ground. Let's pretty them up a little bit.
This looks broke.
I got a hub. Oh yeah.
Can we E6000 it?
No, it's got screws. I'll redo it.
That's broke, isn't it? Rudy.
All right, now it's got a moon hubcap that'll go on there that I'm still working on. Beating little dents out and trying to get little pitted spots and stuff, but we'll show you those later. But that's one tire. Let's go do that. All right, tires are on. I've got the trailer off the jack stands. That's just for stabilization, but the weight's distributed between the tires and the jack stands. Of course, like I said, we got the moon hubcaps I'm still working on, but that should dress it up a lot. But at least we know it's safe to tow now with the wheel bearings replaced and everything inspected. So we're in good shape. So that's it for today. We're gonna move on and call it good night, little Southern Sipper. Alright, tires are on. I've got the trailer off the jack stands. That's just for stabilization. But the weight's distributed between the tires and the jack stands. Of course, like I said, we got the moon hubcaps I'm still working on. But that should dress it up a lot. But at least we know it's safe to tow now with the wheel bearings replaced and everything inspected. So we're in good shape. So that's it for today. We're gonna move on and call it good night, little Southern Sipple. When we were in here last time, you could see what we were doing, but you couldn't really get a good look at what it was looking like from down here. That's where the air conditioner is sitting, and it was leaking there. And also over here, remember this is where the refrigerator was, and where it has two stack vents, it was leaking. That's where you can see the worst of it. But like I said, it sat in a barn most of the time for 30 years, so it really wasn't getting rained on. It's really just started leaking, I guess, when it's out of the barn. But we'll address that. But that piece had to go because it was water damaged bad. But we'll leave that like that till we get this air conditioner off of here. All right, just wanted y'all to see what that was.